Hello and welcome to the RedChip Global Online Conference. My name is Keith Hayter, President of Spectrum Global Solutions. I'd now like to take you through our investor presentation. On slide 2, we have a safe harbour statement. Please read this memorandum, do so and take note of this before making any decisions in the stock market. On to slide 3, a quick executive summary of Spectrum Global Solutions. Spectrum Global Solutions is a professional service and solutions company that deploys infrastructure for Tier 1 carriers, OEMs, original equipment manufacturers, project management organizations, and aggregators of towers and fiber. There's 2 divisions that Spectrum Global Solutions works in, and that is telecommunications and energy. There's an immense opportunity in the telecommunications sector with the deployment and increased deployment of existing and new technologies. For instance, there's small cell network densification that's currently going on and will continue to go on into the future. The pending rollout of 5G technology to complement and supplement the existing 4G technology out there for wireless cell phone service. Internet of Things, and all the opportunities surrounding that, and specifically in the US, the FirstNet network, which is a public safety network for first responders nationally across the nation, where all these agencies can work off and communicate on one single network, which they're currently not able to do now. So some key aspects about Spectrum Global Solutions is we have an extremely strong management team in place. I've mentioned the future opportunities there that will increase the spend with the carriers and other companies, both public and private, in deployment of wireline and wireless technologies. We have expansion plans and are existingly covering the US, Puerto Rico and the Caribbean, out in Hawaii and up into Canada, and we have plans at going further abroad. On to page 4, or slide 4. Our missions and our values. Number 1, we will strive always to be the world-class industry leader by which others are measured. We think it's important to have lofty goals and to reach for those and eventually obtain them. For our customers, we have to provide the greatest value and the highest quality possible for them and need to be responsive. Fortunately, we're able to do this because we have existing exceptionally talented people, and we expect to attain and attract more. A company's culture is really determined by its goals and values. So number 1, we're customer first, and client satisfaction is an important credo to live by. We have to satisfy the customer and ensure that we get that repeat business from excellent performance. For our shareholders, we have to return superior results on their investment and their trust in us. We cannot waver on our integrity. We got to do what's right, commit to it, and be fair in our dealings with others, our staff, our clients, our investors, and anyone that we do business with. Respect is key to fostering a close and coordinated working relationship within the organization and external to it. Creativity, that drives us. We have already created and driven value into the business through some new technology developments. However, we should never stop innovating, use our imagination, and be original in our work. And lastly, teamwork. We work with our customers, for our shareholders, and also for our employees. So we need to inspire and empower our people to service all our customers. Moving on to slide 5. Our company objectives and focus. In our telecommunications division, our focus business is on wireless and wireline. These are the 2 areas that are also converging. So with some customers, it will be one focused business offering that we're providing across all their segments. Our customers include Tier 1 carriers. These are the household names that everyone knows: AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, and T-Mobile. We also work in the enterprise and government space, and also for private clientele. So with the rollout of new technology deployments commencing in 2018 and beyond through 2025, as you can see there's three major technology deployments that are happening, and we're looking to capitalize on those. Fortunately, we're able to do this with national and our international footprint. So we have diversification in revenue, in clients, sectors, and locations and geographies that we work in. Our clients are large, and therefore we need to provide comprehensive one-stop service offerings. And within our existing portfolio of services, we have what we believe is the foundation for providing all those comprehensive service offerings. Our acquisition strategy will accelerate the growth of the company. But we're not going to leave it there. We're also going to drive organic growth within the business. On to slide number 6. So talking of acquisitions, we have certain target profiles on the companies that we're looking for. We've listed those there. I think they make sense, and the financial metrics, as well as the quality of services and offerings that these companies provide, will only strengthen and provide scale to Spectrum Global Solutions. Moving on to slide 7. What's important to drive the growth of the company and give it a solid foundation is our executive management team. As you can see there, our executive structure is led by Mr. Roger Ponder, our CEO and Chairman of the Board. As I mentioned before, I am Keith Hayter, President and Director of Spectrum Global Solutions. We realise as we grow, we need to round out the team further. So we have an interim CFO, Mr. Bob Varma, under Spectrum Global Solutions, but we will need to add a full-time Chief Financial Officer, Chief Operating Officer, and a Vice President of Sales with all the acquired companies to integrate and unify those in a common direction and stay in financial control of the business. Overseeing the management team, we realise we need to add some further directors. We have identified one director, Mr. Steve Fry, and we're currently searching for another director that we would like to add to the team very shortly. The company organisation as it stands today under Spectrum Global Solutions has a number of entities. Mantra Energy Alternatives, which works in the energy sector. All the other AW Solutions companies there, as well as Tropical Communications, work in the telecommunications sector, as well as some private industry in non-telecommunications related work, primarily in engineering and design in the public sector. We will look to fill out this organisation at greater depth with new acquisition. Just to briefly go over our growth and activity timeline, Mantra Venture Group, that was subsequently renamed to Spectrum Global Solutions in October of this year, was formed in 2007. In April of this year, Mantra Venture Group acquired AW Solutions, which is the platform company for the telecommunications growth. And as I previously mentioned, October of this year, we renamed Spectrum Global Solutions to better align with our company and our customers, and also to create greater flexibility for the business going forward. So since the acquisition of AW Solutions, shortly thereafter, we did commence some acquisitive growth strategies, formalize those, and have been actively looking at and pursuing companies. So currently, you can see what our earnings are in our SEC filings, but we're looking to double, if not treble that in January, or at least Q1 of 2018. And by 2018, in October, we're looking to double that or more again to somewhere around the $60–80 million range. Once that's achieved and we have the correct metrics in place, then we look into the near future to potentially go to NASDAQ and uplift from OTC, which is where we currently are. So some quick investment highlights for you. There is a lot of high growth potential in telecommunications infrastructure in the enterprise solution markets. We've spoke about the tier 1 carriers that we sell to and support. We have replicable and scalable service models. Our relationships in the industry are unparalleled with our strategic partners. What's important to notice here is our master service agreements. We have over 100 of these in place. They cover many customers, many areas, many locations, and types of services. So we would look to leverage those over the coming years. And these are all multi-master services agreements. Again, we have a proven management team, as I indicated before, with over 180 years of combined executive leadership experience. Now, in addition to this, I think there's some key points that we need to point out. As of this conference, we're trading at roughly 1/10 of our revenue. The market indicators say that we should be running at about 2 times revenue. So you can see there's an immense opportunity there to capitalize with Spectrum Global Solutions. And then lastly, the industry itself is going through a growth spurt. I've pointed out some of the areas where they are growing and the new deployments of technology, and we need to scale through acquisition and organic growth to capitalize that on these coming years. So we feel our keys for growth really focus around quality, our comprehensive service, and customer satisfaction. Through the other synergies that we have with acquired companies, we should be able to cross-sell, leverage their long-term relationships with their clients for us and vice versa. And we need to diversify our revenue, making sure that we have project and reoccurring revenue streams that are long-term and sustainable. So quick highlights of our strong management team here. As I mentioned before, 180 years in high-tech executive experience. Mr. Ponder, Chairman and CEO, was the CEO and Vice President of Time Warner Midwest Division out of Kansas City. He was also the Vice President and President eventually of Oceanic Communications, also another Time Warner company. And as you read down each of these people, you can see that the pedigree that they have just brings excellent skill sets to Spectrum Global Solutions, and we can use that as our foundation to, again, acquire new companies and bring in their talented executive experience to complement what we have already. So I talked about the telecommunication growth opportunities. Here's just some metrics here and information that shows the incredible growth that is going to take place, has taken place, and will continue to take place. And as you can see, the CapEx spending just by the wireless carriers reaches some pretty impressive numbers into 2019 and beyond. Again, in the enterprise space, there's a lot happening there and a lot of demand, and we hope to capitalize on that, and we'll market and focus our efforts in those areas, as well as the service provider market. So let's not forget that while these new technologies are being deployed, the legacy systems, the existing systems that we all use now today, still have to be maintained. And eventually, when they become obsolete, they have to be decommissioned. So we want to be there during the birth, the life, and the death of these systems, not only deploying them in a new fashion, maintaining them in their existing world, but also decommissioning them once they've reached the end of their useful life. So a quick overview of AW Solutions here. It gives you a quick flavor of when we were formed, the types of areas that we work in, and the types of services that we provide, the experience that we have within the management team, the types of clients we work for, locations, and a small taste of the number of activities and services that we provide across the country and internationally from a historical standpoint on those 70,000 activities. Just to wrap up simply what Spectrum Global Solutions does through its AW Solutions subsidiary and new subsidiaries that will be acquired. This is a very simple diagram showing the comprehensive services that can be leveraged from the start of the project all the way through the end of the project and through the maintenance life cycle of any project that we deal with in the telecommunications sector. Yes, I know this slide is slightly busy, but it does kind of relay the complexity of all the different communication networks and systems out there. You know, you may have a cell phone, but at some point that will be handed off from towers to buildings to fiber to small cells. It will touch every single item shown within this somewhat complex graphic. We intend to play in every single space and opportunity within that environment. Mantra Energy Alternatives is a subsidiary of Spectrum Global Solutions, and they're a technology research and development company focused on green energy solutions. Again, we've given you a few highlights here on the company, what it does, the types of services that it's developing and researching, and on the next slide, you will see two graphics of two of the technologies that they have developed and have patents for. One is the electro reduction of carbon dioxide, or ERC, and then they have their mixed reactant fuel cell, or MRFC. These are two cutting-edge green technologies that are being looked at to deploy out into the marketplace in a commercial fashion. So our service footprint. While we can talk about national coverage, we thought we would show this in a graphic form to not only say these are the areas that we work in, but also these are the areas that we have licensing in to provide professional engineering services. So across the US, 5 Canadian provinces, Hawaii, Guam, Puerto Rico, and the US Virgin Isles. We will continue to expand our service footprint as we attract and retain new customers to provide services in those locales that we do not have current licensing. So thank you for your time. I'd just like to wrap up here. Spectrum Global Solutions, again, thanks you for your time and consideration of our company. We have some management contacts here. Roger Ponder, as I mentioned before, myself, and through our investor relations, Mr. Sands.
Okay, we're now opening the line for our Q&A session with Mantra Venture Group. And with us today, we have CEO Roger Ponder and President Keith Hayter. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Glad to have you. And we'll just jump right into the questions. Our first question, can you discuss what factors you see while acquiring companies, and how do you typically structure the acquisitions?
Certainly. Well, several things. First off, we feel pretty strongly when we look at potential add-ons to our business that they kind of hold the same value system, the culture of the business. It also kind of blends very well with their financial aspects on the performance, but we feel it's always important to have a company that fits into what we're trying to accomplish from their business segment as well as their financial segment. Keith, you want to add anything to that?
No, I think I'd just like to reinforce that the cultural fit is certainly critical to both companies to make sure that we're harmonious and we're driving towards the goals that we set for the team as a whole.
Very good. Thank you. And our next question, can you discuss the significant growth in your revenue in the past quarter, and what were the main drivers behind that?
Well, we had significant growth overall within the business, primarily driven by the acquisition of the AWS Group or AW Solutions Group. Over the last quarter, we've seen as a significant growth, primarily based in our service segment, telecommunications, and this has been through primarily the increased business demand in the telecommunications sector as they're rolling out new technologies, bolstering their networks, and increasing their coverage and capacity across the U.S. and down into the Caribbean.
Very good. Thank you. And our next question, this investor would like to know if you could discuss any possible acquisitions that are in the pipeline for 2018, and will you be focusing mostly on the telecom sector?
Well, not providing a forward-look statement, but yes, in fact, we are looking early on in 2018 of bringing on additional companies that we are in discussions with currently. And we feel that there will be in the telecom sector. We want to continue to grow around this pretty exciting and energetic part of our business. So with the current demand, the new technologies, demand of end users, everything from driving cars and everything, self-driving cars and everything else, we feel that that sector will provide the overall company good financial stability and long-term growth. But yes, we are looking at additional companies.
Well, very good. Thank you. And we have a few minutes still remaining. I guess kind of in summary, I covered a lot of great information in the presentation and here in the Q&A. But what's the key takeaway for investors? I mean, why should they have interest in the company today?
Well, I think number one, we've got an extremely strong management group that's able to drive the business forward, integrate new businesses as we look to acquire them, and also generate that organic growth through their contacts and existing relationships with our clients. Secondly, the position of the company as it stands now, as was mentioned previously in other collateral, we're trading at 1/10 to 1/20th of our current revenue, which should provide an extremely attractive proposition to any investors, seeing that there's immense growth from where we currently stand once the market recognizes what we're doing in the business, how we're moving it forward, and the growth plans that we have to grow this company significantly in size, geographic reach, and service offerings to an industry that is not just expanding currently, but is looking to roll out new technologies that will cause a huge CapEx increase in their spends to meet the demands and to roll out these technologies for the consumers. So I think just those two key points should be sufficient to see that it's an exciting time for Mantra Venture Group. The environment is allowing for growth, and for us to capture those opportunities, we need to scale rapidly, maintain our quality, and provide, birth-to-death services for our customers in the deployment of new technologies and decommissioning of old technologies when that time arrives.
Very good. Thank you. And for our viewers, we were just speaking with Mantra Venture Group, ticker symbol MVTG on the OTC. We were speaking with Roger Ponder, the CEO, and Keith Hayter, President. And if you want to stay abreast of all the developments as they're happening with Mantra Venture Group, you can sign up for news alerts right here at redchip.com.